body today. I'm going to be your nurse performing the assessment on your peripheral vascular system, musculoskeletal system, and your neuro. So what's your name?
Marissa.
How old are you, Marissa?
I'm 16.
Okay, so if you have any questions during the assessment, just let me know. Don't be scared to ask.
Okay.
Okay, so can I start by doing a range of motion on your neck? So with that, can I have you look down for me? And can I have you look all the way back for me? And can I have you look side to side for me? Okay, and can I have you roll your head in a circle for me as well? Okay, next I'm going to be doing a strength test as well. And I'll be checking cranial nerve number 11, which is your spinal accessory. So can I have you push against my hand, and then push against my hand on that side. And I can have you roll your shoulders for me. Okay, good. All right, now next I'm going to be moving on to your arms. So I'm going to be assessing your skin on your arms as well. I'm going to be, they're nice and warm. Then I'm looking at your hair displacement and everything. And they're nice and warm. And next I'm moving on to your fingers. I'm checking your nail beds. They're nice and clean. And then I'm going to move on and check your cap refill, which is less than 3 seconds, which is good. And I'm going to do a grip test on you, so you grab my fingers and squeeze. Okay, thank you. And next I'm checking some pulses on your arms. So I'm going to be checking your radial pulse right here, and I'm going to check your brachial pulse, which is right here. Okay, and then next we're going to be doing a strength test on your arms. So can I have you hold your arms up for me? Okay, and I need you to push against that for me. Okay, now pull against my hands. Now push out. Now push in. Okay, good. And now can I have you lay down for me? Okay, so now whenever I assess your legs, I'm going to be looking for symmetry down your legs. I'm going to be checking your skin for the temperature. And I'm also going to be looking to make sure you have no varicose veins, which is good. I'm going to be checking for pitting edema, which you don't have any of that as well. So next I'm going to be moving on to do I'm going to be checking your pulses on your legs. So I'm going to start with your femoral pulse right here. I'm going to move to your popliteal pulse down here under your knees. And I'm going to do your dorsal pectoralis pulse right here. And then after that, I'm going to be moving to do a strength test on your legs. No, I'm going to do the heel to shin first. So can I actually have you take your heel and put it on your shin and rub that down for me? And then can I have you take your other shin and do the same thing as well? Okay. And then I'm going to be doing a strength test on you. So can you push out for me? I'll pull in. I'll push down. Okay, I'll push up. Okay, now can I have you do the same thing down here? So push in. I'll push out. I'll push up. I'll push down. Okay, can I have you do the same thing with your feet? Push up against my hands. I'll push down. Okay. And now I'm going to be doing a range of motion on your legs. So can I have you lift one knee up to your chest? Okay, now can I have you move that knee, pull up to your chest and push it out? Okay, now pull it back in and push it down. Okay, and can you do the same thing with the other leg? Okay. And now can I have you roll your ankles for me? And wiggle your toes. Okay, good job. Okay, and now you can sit up for me. And I'm going to be checking your reflex, your patellar reflex on your knee. So normally I'd have a hammer, and so I'd check it and I'd hit your knee right here on both knees, but I don't have one. So now we're going to stand up. All right, now I'm going to be checking for scoliosis now. So can you turn for me? And now I'm going to be checking, I'm looking at your shoulders, your scapulas, your iliac crest, your elbow gap. I'll be looking at the gluteal folds. And everything's nice and symmetrical. And so now can I have you bend over for me? And I'm going to be checking your spine. I'm checking for making sure it's nice and straight. So I'm going to be running my 2 fingers down your spine the entire time. Okay, and it's nice and straight. Now can you stand up for me? And there's no signs of any deviations. Okay, now can I have you close your eyes? Now hold your arms out. All right, now we put my hands on your side. This is called the Trans-Dillenberg test. I'm checking to see if there's any sway, and there's none present. All right, so that'll conclude you go over your nose now. That'll conclude your assessment. If you have any questions about it?
No.
All right, thank you. Today I'm doing a report on a 16-year-old female. She came in for a peripheral vascular, musculoskeletal, and a neuro assessment. We started off with range of motion of the neck. She had full range of motion. Then we assessed cranial nerve number 11, which is the spinal accessory. It was intact. She had good muscle strength in her neck. Then we moved to the upper extremities. I assessed the skin on her arms and her hands. It was warm and dry to the touch. She had good skin turgor. She had good hair distribution. Her fingers and nail beds were nice and clean. Her cap refill was less than 3 seconds. She had a good hand grip. Then I palpated the brachial and radial artery, which were both intact. Then we did range of motion on her upper extremities. All her joints were good, and her arms, elbow, and wrist, and she could wiggle her fingers. Then we moved down to the legs, did an assessment of the legs. Our skin on her lower extremities was nice and warm. She had good hair distribution down there. Both legs were symmetrical. She had no varicose veins on them, and there was no pitting edema noted. Then after that, we assessed her femoral, popliteal, posterior tibial, and dorsal pedialis pulse. They were all intact. Then we did range of motion on her lower extremities for her knees, hips, and toes, and ankles, and all the joints were intact. Muscle strength in her legs was good, and heel to shin was negative, and she had a positive patellar reflex and a negative scoliosis test. And for the Romberg test, it was without sway.